Hi everyone, welcome to SAT Prep for Math. Let's get started. Our goal for this class is to help you improve your test scores. Um, so some of the things that we're going to be talking about for this class is that we're going to use Algebra Nation, Khan Academy. Here's the code for the class, practice test, and calculator. So these are all hyperlinks that I created for you to get help you get to those sites as we talk through this. So first thing I want to talk about is Algebra Nation. I created a video here on how to sign in. This link right here, Algebra Nation, will lead you there, and then video will walk you through step by step to how to sign in. But you do have to create or log into Google Chrome using your school email address. And the next video right here is created to show you what kind of topics are covered in SAT prep course. Um, you have access to actually many other courses, but I picked SAT prep particular for this. And there are 4 topics that will be discussed in this video. And if you, the reason for utilizing this Algebra Nation is that each lesson under the content topic has a video and worksheets and practice questions that you could do. So it's going to be very useful if you need a lesson on a particular topic. Next thing right here is Khan Academy. I'm sure many of you are getting sick of Khan Academy, but it is very useful tool for studying for SATs. So I'm going to show you how to set up a practice schedule using Khan Academy. Khan Academy works very close with College Board, so it is highly recommended. So this video right here will walk you through step by step on how to set up your schedule. Now, like I said, College Board has all kinds of information. One of the things they do provide also is the SAT practice tests. They provide 8 full-length tests along with answer keys and explanations to each questions. So if you click on this link, it will get you to the College Board site, and it will list all the SAT practice test that you could download through the PDF right here. So if you notice, there's SAT practice number 1, the download, there's 5 downloads. So it has answers, explanations, and everything. There's 3, 5, 6, 7. So there's 8 of them. And then this one right here, this link right here, I create this link to get you directly into the PDF file for the practice test number 1. Now, if you want to get the answers and answers keys, you got to go to this link. So let me talk about this test right here. So if you, I know many of you already seen this, what the test is going to look like. So in this practice test, you will go through the reading test, and you will go through the writing test as well. I believe it is a writing and language test. So after you go through that, the section 3, which is what we're mainly going to talk about, is the math portion of the test. And I'm sure you're familiar with this. The math, it is section 3 is a non-calculator test. It is 25 minutes for 20 questions. Okay, so and then remember, they do provide a formula sheet right here at the beginning. So please keep that in mind. A lot of times students actually tear this out from the booklet to keep it with them at all times. And then if you noticed, here's your question and then your multiple choice. So here's some of the more comprehensive problem solving type of questions. And then after you go through section 3, here's the calculator portion of the test, which is a little bit longer, 55 minutes, 38 questions. Same kind of layout. You got your questions with tables and graphs, and you're going to be looking at different kinds here. Sometimes you will have one table that you have to answer multiple questions for, like this one. This is a one particular question which you're going to answer questions 9 and 10. So these are the kind of things that you are going to be seeing when you take your test in October. um, and I'm sure you've been told this is not all multiple choice, but at the end of each sections 3 and 4, you will see this page that looks like this. This is a uh, grid in response where it is not a multiple choice, where you find your answer and you grid in the answers. So I'm going to be talking more about this in a little bit. So that is a layout of the SAT test. Um, so now I'm going to talk about some of the tips that I could give you, and hopefully it will help you get through the test as smooth as possible and as easily as possible. Um, so let me get started. First thing I want you to remind you that you will not be penalized for answering a wrong answer. Okay, they used to penalize students um, when it was 2012, I believe, is when they changed it. They used to penalize students for answering the answer incorrectly, answering the question incorrectly, but they took that away, and now you do not get penalized. So I mean, they used to take additional 2/10 of a point away from the score. So the very first thing when you start doing this, please read the questions full. Please read all the questions all the way down, and make sure you're underlining what you're solving for, keywords, key numbers, and try to ballpark before you solve. And if the problems are really lengthy, make sure that you take piece at a time, and after each step, take a look at the answer choice and eliminate any choices that could be made. Make sure that you write stuff down. This test booklet is yours. Okay, they are not going to share it with other students or reuse the test booklet. So this is yours. So make sure you write stuff down, draw pictures if necessary, and label, and cross out any wrong answers that you might think it is. Make sure that you're ballparking, so eliminate any wrong answers, because you want to look for wrong answers. Sometimes it's easier to look for wrong answers instead of the right ones. And it's a process of elimination a lot of times. So physically mark your test booklet. Pace yourself. You will not answer every question. Um, So slow down and score more. You're not scored on how many questions you answer, but you're scored on how many questions you get correct. So you want to get as many correct answers as possible. Um, Order of difficulty. SAT has their order of difficulty. Easy questions come first, and then it progresses to more difficult questions. You need to find your own order of difficulty. Do the easy problems first and come back to the difficult ones. And like I said, you are um, not penalized for wrong answers. So what I advise you to do is pick a letter of the day, A through D. Just pick one letter and use that letter for every guess. And remember, guessing is a last resort. You always want to do process of elimination, and best um, eliminate any incorrect answers that you can. And then if it's last resort, do decide and make a wise guess. Okay, so do not leave any questions blank. Calculators. Um, Make sure you change the batteries in your calculator the week before and bring extra batteries um, if necessary, because your batteries might die, so your calculators might not work. Okay, some students bring extra calculator besides the battery, so I do recommend that you do change your batteries. Section 4 of the test, like I said, is the calculator portion of the test, and it is actually designed to assess your appropriate use of the calculator. They're not, you should be able to perform the calculations without a calculator. Sometimes it's easier to get through the test faster without a calculator. So if you can, you solve the problem without a calculator, I advise that you do so. Um, Remember, calculator is used to avoid making careless errors. Okay, so use your brain and your pencil. Calculator is good at doing crunching numbers. That's about it. Adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, decimals and fractions and square roots and percentages. And if you need to graph an equation, that it will do it for you. Um, and calculators use order of operations. So if the equations given parentheses, make sure you put parentheses in, and remember the order of operation: PEMDAS, parentheses first, exponents, and then multiplication, division, whatever comes first, left to right, and then addition and subtraction, whatever comes first, left to right. Now let's talk about the grid-in questions. These are your free responses. 22% of the questions are student produced. That means it is not a multiple choice. It is a grid-in. Grid-in answers mark no more than one circle per um, each column. Only answers indicated by filling in the circle will be scored, so anything outside the circles is not um, graded, and it doesn't matter which column you begin to enter your answers, as long as the responses are recorded within the gridded area. Um, the grid can only hold 4 decimal places, can only accommodate positive numbers and 0. So that is telling you that whenever you get a negative answer, you got it wrong. So the answers will always be positive. And unless the problem indicates otherwise, the answers entered on the grid can be either decimals or fractions. And fractions like 3/24 do not need to be reduced to the lowest form. So it does not, your answers do not need to be reduced. Make sure that you convert all mixed numbers to improper fractions, because you cannot record mixed numbers in the grid. And these are some examples of what gridding would look like. So hopefully this SAT class will help you get through studying for your test in October. And I just wish you all the best and good luck.